If you're watching this video, that means that the new DLC for Victoria 3 National Awakening has just released, and that is of course what we're about to get into today. But some people have asked me in the past for these kinds of releases if I have an affiliate link, which in the past I've had to say no, I didn't, but now I do. So if you're planning to buy it yourself, I'd appreciate if you did go ahead and use that link, or you can simply use the code CORBETPDX at checkout, and that'll do the trick. Now let's take a visit to everybody's favorite powder keg, the Balkans. The starting situation has obviously changed. Austria has been broken down into 3 additional tags: Croatia, Slavonia, Hungary, and Transylvania. Now, most of the countries you see here have either had a few things changed or some new content added. Mostly we're talking Serbia, Montenegro, Austria, obviously. I think there's a little bit there for Greece, something for Bulgaria when they pop out of the Ottomans. The Ottomans themselves, of course. So while I have tried Croatia, Slavonia, and I found them rather difficult, today we're going to be tackling Serbia. As we're playing Victoria 3, I'm going to slip into some more appropriate attire. Now, the history of Serbia up to this point is one of an incomplete revolution. There were 2 relatively successful uprisings against the Ottoman Empire. I say relatively successful because Serbia did gain some autonomy, which is why we begin as a protectorate of the Ottoman Empire, not a vassal. The legacy of these revolutions is represented by the Throne of Thorns journal entry. First, in 1804, there was an uprising against the Ottoman Empire led by the Karađorđević house, and the second uprising was led by the House of Obrenović in 1815. This led to the Serbian territories in the Ottoman Empire gaining de facto independence in 1817. This leads to our choice between the House of Karađorđević and the House of Obrenović, or who is going to lead our country. Currently, it is the House of Obrenović, but if we remove all of our dynastic loyalty, bring it down to 0, we can get a coup that will replace the dynasty with the House of Karađorđević. Now, in real life, these 2 houses would sort of vie for power over the next century or so. Eventually, the House of Karađorđević would be successful, leading Serbia and later the Kingdom of Yugoslavia for the latter half of the monarchy period. Gameplay-wise, we would like to stick with the Obrenović family, the one currently in charge, because to swap to the House of Karađorđević would actually be rather difficult. For us to replace our dynasty, we would have to lower the ruler popularity, increase the popularity of the rival claimants, lower our legitimacy, lower the standard of living, increase the radicals, upset the interest groups, reduce our authority, reduce our bureaucracy, and be friends with the Ottomans. And I don't really want to do any of these things, although I'm sure there might be something interesting if you do manage to succeed. Us, though, we're going to be friends with the Austrians and the Russians, and maybe even the Egyptians, because they also don't really like the Ottomans. We're also looking to bolster the economy, so we're going to pick up stock exchange and we're going to grab water tube boiler. Of course, we want to increase the literacy and the road maintenance, but we're not going to use too much authority because we would like to bring in the armed forces and we want a professional army. Then to start with, we're going to build a logging camp and tooling workshop and an iron mine. Wallachia would like to mutually support our independence. I'm not going to transfer you money for that, but it's cool if we want to do this for the next 15, let's go for 25 years. We'd also like to see if we can do the same thing for anybody who doesn't like the Ottomans, which seems to be very few countries. Even Russia doesn't really want us to be independent, but if we asked, they would say yes in exchange for a power block embassy, and that's good enough for me. We'll go with 15 years. We're also going to pester the Ottomans, ask them for stuff we know they're going to say no to so we can decrease our relations. Looks like we are too unlucky to get a professional army, so we'll see if we can pick up something else really quickly. Religious schools would be fine. But now, actually, the landowners are happy enough to allow us to launch a campaign, and we are going to do that. We're going to spare no expense. We're going to spend as much as possible. Now, we don't particularly care which of these factions we promote. We'll just go with the intelligentsia. This is the main thing we're interested in with that campaign, because we can improve the state construction efficiency and infrastructure of Western Serbia by 35% for the next 5 years. That's going to help us jumpstart our economy. There aren't any other laws I'm particularly interested in going after, so we're going to start spending our money on construction sectors. In particular, they will be iron frame. Now, I think we would like to support each other's independence, we and Egypt. As for Eastern Serbia, I think we're just going to increase education access. Now the campaign has ended, our ruler is a lot more popular. We have news from Delvidek of Magyarization campaigns, so we can choose to either give them a little bit of money to hasten our dynastic loyalty progress, or we can give them a lot of money to greatly hasten the progress and move 10% of the Serbian population from Delvidek to Western Serbia, which would be a great idea. So first, the armed forces, for some reason, they don't even want a professional army. Okay. We'll go with a dedicated police force, I suppose. The heir is also fallen in love with an Albanian woman. I think I'm totally fine with having the increased acceptance of Albanian culture and also enlightened royalists. Pretty rare ideology there. Ooh, okay. That looks like something I should have been allowed to get involved in, but was not, despite us supporting each other's independence. Oh, but that's because you're not actually asking for independence. Oh, okay. See, the interesting thing about this is that we actually can ask for independence. If only we can find some other countries who would actually give us independence. So we'll go with this. I kind of forgot to declare interests as well. I should do that. Okay, we're gonna go for a bit of a gamble here. We do want independence from the Ottomans. This is probably the best time to ask for it. It's gonna call in Russia and Egypt, in theory. We'll see what happens. We can also bring in 2 Sicilies. And then I'm going to ask for my states back. And I would like to take at least this one, Karadak. If you can't tell, I don't speak any languages from the Balkans or even the slightly surrounding area. We're going to make one of these primary, probably Eastern Serbia, just so that if they back down, I do get something out of this. And I think I would like Kosovo. We'll also make this primary. Surely they won't back down now, right? Oh, this is bad. Well, it's not that bad, but it's not good. And they did actually back down. Well, see, I didn't really want them to do that, but it's not the end of the world. It does give us a truce for 4 years, and at the end of those 4 years, we'll come back, I guess. We would very much like to be closer to the Austrians for the time being, although, that's not looking too good right now. Okay, Austria has just annexed Hungary. Yeah, that's cool. We're gonna see if we can get transit rights from them. That would be neat. So now we can trade with the world. That's kind of important. And we have a professional army. We would very much like to rival the Ottomans, of course. That might be the fastest Austrian federalization I have ever seen. Not even 10 years into the game. Welcome back. Last patch Austria. Now the Throne of Thorns is complete. We have 3 options, and they basically just change the personality of our current ruler. He can either become ruthless, meticulous, or honorable. I do like meticulous. It does give us increased offense and defense. And then since that guy was our general, we can just go to our current prince, give him command. So, Ottomans, we can get Austria on our side. Russia is a no for now, but we can definitely get Persia, probably Wallachia, probably Greece. We can do a lot here. Let's see if we can grab... We'll get Kosovo as the primary war goal. It should be fine. Austria will join in on a war goal. They want to conquer... Ooh, that is stuff I don't want to give you. Become a subject. Ooh, also don't like that. But a protectorate wouldn't be the end of the world. I would just have to get independence again, and I could probably ask Prussia to help me with that. So for just 5 war goals, that's actually not too bad, because I can keep on asking for stuff. Okay, we're gonna gamble this. I will in fact become a protectorate. That's cool. That's fine. But I'm also gonna ask for more stuff. We're gonna ask for this. We're actually going to make that primary. It is incredibly important. Now, people aren't going to like me for this one, but we want to take as much as possible. Over the course of this war, I think we're definitely going to have to build some additional bureaucracy, because we are going to try and get a lot of stuff incorporated. And already they are willing to accept our demands. Perfect. That is a chunky Serbia. We have a lot to start incorporating here, so let's start with the stuff that is actually a Serbian homeland. That's this stuff over here. Then I guess we can move on to Albania as well. Other than that, though, let's see if we can improve relations with some other countries who would like to support my independence again. And decrease relations with Austria, improve relations with literally everybody else. The Ottomans are making a play for Montenegro. They can't actually reach Montenegro, So I don't know what the plan here is. Anyway, we really want railways, so we're gonna work on that. We need a steel mill and a motor industry. But actually, the government is kind of broke, so we're gonna work on being less broke. Right now, the industrialists have a fair bit of power, mostly from wealth. So I think what we would like to do is probably swap to wealth voting if we can. Let's bring in the petit bourgeoisie. I think we also want nationalism, probably, after we get railways. Because nationalism did get a little bit of a change in this update. As you can see, once we are done researching it, we can support separatism. We also get the promote national values decree. Allows you to assimilate and convert. People don't like it, but it also allows you to assimilate in homeland states. Presumably that means non-homeland for your culture. Now, we do have our market liberal. We're going to grant him leadership of the petit bourgeoisie. We could do this just to make it pass immediately. Yeah, you know what, we'll do that. Okay, we do want momentum for the Liberal Party, yes. Alright, the votes are in. We're gonna try and get the Liberal Party in. That's a very weak Liberal Party. Well, we kind of need him in charge anyway to get support for good laws, like interventionism. We do have corporate charters, not really much to give a corporate charter to other than the metal company. Actually, presumably we would have some unique Serbian companies, right? Is this one here that gives a prestige good for meat? Ooh, prestige military, high-powered small arms. Increased defense and recovery rate. Okay, we can work with that. But at least for now, we'll do this. We'll also give them coal rights, of course. Literacy in these new places also sucks. We're going to get rid of a little bit of taxation. We're going to work on fixing that a little bit. And then also in the capital, we want at least a university. Now, we can continue to attack the Ottomans. We do have a lot of infamy right now, though. If we decide instead to take one province and then liberate Bulgaria, I think that would be ideal. So Austria would get called in pretty quickly. Russia actually wants to liberate Bulgaria. Perfect. We caught them at the perfect time because they're also trying to fight Egypt. So this war should be a walk in the park. New election is in. Not really looking great either way, but we'll go with the Free Trade Party. They do at the very least want elected bureaucrats, and so do I. There we go. The Ottomans have been beat. Now that we have nationalism, a few things are happening. We have bolstered our cultural fervor, and we can bolster it further by increasing the average literacy of Serbian pops, increasing the number of Serbian academics, researching pan-nationalism as well. We can also just increase our fervor through events like this one, where we translate the New Testament into the Serbian language. We can either increase the fervor of Serbian by 10 and get ourselves 10 years of increased university and arts academy building throughput, or we can get 10 years of 30% increased technology spread for society. And I think I like that a little bit better. We have our national romanticism. I would like to increase the fervor more. Let's support some separatism in Hungary. I think I'd also like to support separatism in Austria, because they both have Serbian homelands. You know, for being a powder keg, it's kind of crazy how there's like no sulfur in the Balkans. Just a little bit in Greece and Wallachia. Gonna have to be where we get all of it. Now, I did do free trade just to get rid of the corn laws. Of course, it doesn't really matter because we're in Austria's market. But I think next, we're gonna try and be a little bit less racist. I think it would be good if we could do that. There we go. We have more acceptance for our pops. They should be able to do more jobs now, I think. If we bring in the church here, then we should actually be able to pick up public health insurance as well, which is the superior form. Funny enough, the Americans would actually support my independence. That's incredibly cursed. Okay, anyway. Let's see if they'll do that for free. Beautiful. Ooh. Well, now isn't that interesting? I think that's very interesting. Massive war against Austria, you say? After I've just modernized my army. Now that does seem awfully convenient. Now, if I wanted to return Dalvidek and maybe Dalmatia, and maybe I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. But we'll take this, and I think I also want to take that. Yeah. What else can I get away with? Oh, Austrian Montenegro. Can't forget that. Now, poor Slovenia is going to have to wait, but that's probably going to do for now. So, let's see who else we can call into our little war here. An obligation to Egypt would not be that bad. No one could say that it's going great, but it is going better than expected when fighting the Austrian and Russian empires. But yeah, also, we do need to get a company. That would be this one. Perfect timing, actually. There we go, Russia has left. We are ready to push. Push, 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 push. Everybody advance. Egypt has left the war, which is not great, but the Americans are still with us. for at least a little bit. Ooh, not for very long. That's why we have to take everything right now. Whoosh. Oh, we kind of suck at pushing. Let's put the Austrian Empire in its grave. I really appreciate the enthusiasm, but this is not where we need to be. We need to be pushing in Dalmatia. Yeah, there we go. Dalmatia. Ooh, the economy is in shambles right now. Yeah. Yep. We just need 2, maybe 3 provinces. Just a handful, just a couple more. Please don't mess up America. Please don't mess up. Please don't mess up here. Oh, they messed up. Oh, maybe not. Maybe, who knows? Victoria 3 battles? Okay. Please, we've taken everything else. It can't be this hard. How are you losing this? This should not be possible. My flabbers are gasted. There's absolutely no way. If I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes, I would not believe you. Okay, since you suck at this, I'm gonna do it myself. Ooh, hey. Developing crisis in the Ottomans. Sounds good to me. If you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Wow, look how quickly it falls when I'm attacking. That's crazy. What do you know? Well, the economy is in shambles, but we should be able to take everything we wanted. Now that's beautiful. And also, we should get something with... Yeah, there we go. We get to choose whether we get Montenegro's rulers and laws, or if we keep ours. We could also keep our rulers and laws, but change our name to Serbia and Montenegro. Could also just not integrate them. I don't know why you would do that, but we'll do this. And actually... Oh, I don't even have pan-nationalism. I can't even form Yugoslavia. Okay, that's gonna take a little bit first. I do want to encourage some manufacturing in the country. So we're going to set import tariffs on all the things that I want to manufacture, and export tariffs on all the things I want to import. Oh yeah, we can also have national movements like that. Okay, so the Turkish national movement is not too big of a fan of all this. Now, I kind of get it. Turkish population is kind of at the bottom of the acceptance tier, and we could try to fix that if we decided to do total separation, but that's not exactly viable. One of the ways we can solve this problem is by improving the standard of living to reduce radicalism. Here's a good idea. How about we enact the secret police? Surely that will go well with the people. No, that's gonna immediately start a civil war. Okay, we're not gonna do that. National Guard, that's probably gonna help. Probably. Oh shoot, Greece just lost that war. Oh, well, if they're not gonna take it, I mean, it's just sitting there, I might as well grab it. Okay, I will be taking this, and I will also be taking this. And I'm a little bit broke right now. So if you could just transfer me like 15,000 per week, that would be really good actually. And they just kind of melted on the spot. Not really much resistance there. Okay, they're willing to accept our very, very generous peace deal. I noticed you're not willing to pay me any money though, and I don't know why that is. I distinctly remember putting that on the list and actually getting the infamy for it. But for some reason, I'm just not allowed to actually take it. That's a little bit disappointing. But nonetheless, we will finish the war. We have lots to incorporate, and if I had to guess, probably a lot of peasants willing to revolt. Now, we actually don't have enough money to construct too much else, but I think it would be nice if we could build a navy, actually. We're also currently gunning for pan-nationalism so that we can form Yugoslavia. Don't know how much that's really going to change, but Bulgaria is trying to promote separatism, and I don't like that. So if Bulgarian becomes one of our primary cultures, surely they can't really do that. Probably. Yeah, there's not much we can really do about the Turkish national movement. That is definitely going to secede. And why is that? Insurrectionary political movements, that's part of it, but I think there's a bigger part of this. Yeah, I really don't know how to fix that. See, the problem is that all the Turkish pops are simply living under violent hostility, and I don't think I can fix that. Well, they're a little less upset. Something happened. The fervor has decreased, maybe? I don't know what happened. Yeah, we need to increase the Turkish standard of living compared to the average in the country. They're living in relative destitution, and that's kind of a problem. Ooh, yeah, that's 152,000 laborers in Constantinople that are living at destitute levels. I don't even know how that's possible. Oh, you're unemployed. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Well, hey, that's why we're enacting poor laws. So, like, surely that'll help. Probably. Maybe. We're also getting a lot of migration, seemingly. A lot of Russian pops, a lot of Polish pops as well. Which is nice, because we could use more population. Those are not very big welfare payments. I don't think we're helping anybody. I might go to census suffrage. I was gonna look around and see like, who else has census suffrage? Like, does that make sense? Then I see France and they just have like an absolute republic. Like they just have a dictatorship right now. But most other countries do, and I'm kind of hoping that'll make people less upset if they can vote. I don't know if that's how it works. Maybe it isn't, but maybe we can get better laws out of this. Oh yeah, technically the Ottomans have contained a burgeoning crisis in the Balkans. And that's because they don't own anything in the Balkans. So that's cool. Ooh, we are also a great power, and every great power needs its own faction. Factions always feel a little bit weird, because like the Sovereign Empire is kind of the best one, but maybe we don't want to metagame every single time, so maybe I'll go with Religious Convocation. I'll give it a shot for once. There we go. Ooh, an embargo against Austria. I guess we could do that, probably. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have a revolt. That's cool. They could at least wait like 2 weeks. That would be really, really nice, actually. No? Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to get that incorporated then. Also, kind of weird that Macedonia joined. There are only like 27,000 Turkish pups there, but okay. Oh, here we go. Right, so we just got pan-nationalism. Now we can get claims on every Croatian, Serbian, Slovene, and Bosniak homeland state not owned by us. It actually reduces our infamy decay. That's not cool. We will take it though, because we get claims on the Slovene provinces owned by Austria, so that's neat. Ooh. Okay, so it's just pretty bad. 30 infamy, 15 infamy, or 50 infamy. No, we'll take the middle one. I think that's cool. I think we'll do that. Okay, so now that we were just a week away from incorporating this, now we're gonna have to wait another 5 years, so that's cool. Now, if I wanted to launch a unification play, that would be the same as declaring war on Austria, and that seems like a pretty bad idea. Wow. That's a lot of alliances and defensive pacts you have there. Okay, we're having a fight for Italian leadership. That actually could be my moment. If Austria is going to get wrapped up in a war against Brazil, actually, then I think it would be nice for us to capitalize off of that and launch our unification play. Now, Britain might still side with Austria, and that would really suck. Russia definitely is going to. But if we can get Germany on our side, I think we're probably going to be fine. Probably. So, Germany, what can I do for you? You want to conquer something or return a state? This little piece down here that I really don't care about sounds good. Oh, you're doing a... Oh, sorry, you're doing a what? A cut Serbia down to size. Are you even allowed to do that? Can I cut you down to size? Okay, well, I'm gonna take this too. And screw it, I'm gonna call in Belgium. Oh wow, I would really want Hungary, but that is not going to happen. Okay, well, you know what? I am going to ask for a liberated Transylvania. And after that, a liberated Hungary. And I might even nationalize all of the buildings that Austria owns in my country. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Spain has rivaled me. Don't like that, but okay. It's so hard to be friends with people when everybody wants to be friends with Austria. They should be less friendly with Austria, I think. But we have taken Vienna. Russia is out of the war. Austria has pretty much crumbled. There we go. Alright, we have taken the last two things we need here. We also have more incorporated states. Things are looking pretty good for us. And now we can form Yugoslavia. Nice. Well, that's weird. When I was forming Yugoslavia, it says I could get Bulgarian as one of our cultures. And I check here and it actually says Bulgarian is one of our primary cultures. And yet, it is not a primary culture. It's a little bit odd. Here we go. Just had to reform the government to finally get this event. 15 years of 15% influence and prestige and 25 popularity for our emperor here. Now we have census suffrage. It's probably also going to tank my legitimacy a little. But anyway, I think we definitely want a reformer. I'm actually surprised Greece managed to do it. Gonna be a bit of an uphill battle for those guys though, because yes, these are Greek homelands, but also that's like, there are a lot of Turkish people in there. And they are not going to be having as good of a time. Either way, I am going to add them to my power block when I get the chance. Not really sure how to play out this whole new cultural system. I think now having low acceptance for cultures is even more punishing, as we saw with the Turkish uprising. I might actually go to state religion. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Ooh, Tuscan diplomatic play against me. What are you doing? Oh, you want Istria from me. Okay, well, no. Never thought I'd be fighting side by side with the Austrians, but I guess they're no longer really my enemy. What if actually you give me investment rights? Now let's get Greece into this power block. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense actually. Yeah, okay. I've been letting the infamy tick down a little bit so that I can actually annex Bulgaria. I fully expect Russia's going to be on their side, but that is not a huge deal, because that's going to make it so that Germany really wants to join my side. And an obligation is a pretty small price to pay. We're going to go a little bit further though. I want you to liberate Ukraine, and I think I'll also take Russian Dobruja. Just for good measure, I might as well also humiliate Russia, I guess. Okay, we're gonna finish this off. Let's get ourselves a treaty with Ukraine. New election. I kind of want to keep these guys, to be honest. At least until I can get state religion. There we go. Okay, now we can swap in for the party that won. And that immediately causes a national movement. Nice. Although, yeah, that's a pretty big one, actually. That's not good. We get another free company, and I think what I would like to do, as kind of an impromptu plan, is just try to maximize birth rate, because I think it would be interesting. So we're going to pick up this company. We do have a new mandate available, and we can invite Ukraine, but they wouldn't accept yet. Okay, we'll wait for that then. We'll pick this up, and we're going to change everything to increased oversight, if I'm even allowed to do that. Okay, we can invite both Romania and Ukraine to the power block. We definitely want to be able to pick up restricted child labor at some point. That would be nice. Unfortunately, the industrialists are a big fan of child labor. And now that we have guaranteed liberties, we'll definitely bump this up. More importantly, we're going to swap to universal suffrage. Alrighty, we do have a new mandate for the power block. And what mandate do I want that to be? Food standardization would reduce the mortality. Construction is also a really good one. Market unification at some point would be ideal. But for now, I think we want to focus on our main one, just finish it off. And now the reason we did that first is that we can get enough cohesion and take down our infamy, because I want to protectorate the Ottoman Empire, which is of course exceedingly cursed, and that's exactly why we're doing it. Also going to renegotiate this treaty with Greece so that we can also get military access. It would be nice if I could get the Ottomans to back down. There we go, thank you very much. Welcome to the power block. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to be in here, but that's okay. Yeah, they are going to absolutely crush the cohesion. But I think we'll be able to fix that. Oh, here we go again. Ooh, Russia's in this war. Well, I mean, while we're here, Bessarabia is kind of on my checklist. Oh, okay. That's a massive Turkish uprising. That's... Oh, the initiator is Greece. This is your fault. Okay. Yeah, they do that now. Okay, well that was definitely something. I didn't expect universal suffrage to be the thing that bumps up the clergy back up to 20%, but what do you know? All that just for Bessarabia. Well, thank you. Witnessing an absolutely insane series of events here. Germany is attempting to take... that's just an absurd amount of territory. That is all but one piece of Korea and 2 parts of Manchuria. Meanwhile, they're also fighting 2 other wars. It was easy enough to annex Wallachia, although man, they do not have any tax capacity in here. Good job, guys. Finally, we can impose our state religion on the Ottomans. We're going to start moving towards market unification for our bloc. Hopefully that will make some countries reconsider leaving the next time I get a whole bunch of infamy. Although I don't think it's going to. I think it would be nice if we could swap into... How on earth do we have multiculturalism? Okay, we're not going to do that, I don't think. We do want cultural exclusion though. Except that the Liberal Party is kinda weak. That's not good for us. Well, we'll see what we can do. I didn't really consider consequences on the other cultural groups when I wanted to enact cultural exclusion. They do not like the idea of us passing cultural exclusion. Hey, hold on, what do you think you're doing? Yeah, how about, you're gonna stay out of Greece, actually. Okay, yeah, people do not like cultural exclusion. Fine. Oh, I guess it doesn't even matter, like, they're just gonna continue. Man, this is like the 3rd time this has happened. I kinda wish they wouldn't revolt in areas that have, like, less than 10% of that population. It gets a little bit annoying sometimes. Okay, new plan. We're gonna do this for a minute, and we are going to try and push for public schools, which we can't do because we have state religion. Right. Okay, maybe we swap off of state religion, go back to freedom of conscience. There we go. With freedom of conscience, we should be able to enact public schools, even though the Orthodox Church is not going to like that very much. Okay, how about this? For the time being, as long as this doesn't cause any big problems, we will go laissez-faire. Oh, that makes me the new Colossus. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, that's cool. There we go. Hopefully Austria is gonna stop making stupid plays after that. Now, let's try and be friends with the newly independent Bohemia. No, we really don't care about fighting Britain. We're just gonna leave. Russia's embargoing me, bro. Why are you like this? What do you want? Oh, this is an alliance thing, eh? Yeah, what is this? Romania Protectorate. I will help you if you become a protectorate. That's cool. But, yeah, I did actually just break that treaty. Funny thing is, I don't think Russia can actually reach me. I, on the other hand, have many ships capable of raiding convoys. Might actually get military access from Ukraine for, I don't know, like 5 years. Oh, here we go. We can invite Bohemia. Very nice. Definitely a little interesting place here. Yeah, we're gonna be in this war for a while. Neither party's going to capitulate. That's cool. In that case, I'll just demobilize, because what are they gonna do? Naval invade? Okay, now we have laissez-faire. Not joking, I think we went through like 17 loops to try and get that passed. Now, we may still be in this war against Russia, but ultimately we don't care too much. So, I'm going to go ahead and just make a protectorate out of Egypt. And I don't think anybody's really going to complain except maybe Brazil. And they actually have a really big army, which is weird considering Brazil does not have a super massive economy. But anyway, we're gonna go into Egypt. I'm gonna scare them a little bit by saying that I will liberate Sudan. I'm not actually going to do it, but I want them to think that I might. Mostly so that they back down. Oh, also we can invite Ukraine back into the faction. Very nice. Not backing down, okay. I can certainly appreciate the courage. Dude, look at my country. We are never dethroning the clergy. Which is kind of a good thing. That is sort of what I wanted to do. And it is working, by the way. The population growth rate is pretty high. Yeah, in our states we're getting, let's see, roughly around a 15% increased birth rate. That's pretty substantial. And that's even while the Orthodox Church is unhappy. When they are happy, it can be 20%. We have our new mandate, and we can also invite Greece back in. Perfect timing, because we do want to unify our markets into a customs union. Very nice. Oh boy, seriously, again? I feel like there's nothing I can do to stop this. The infinite Turkish revolts. I tried cultural exclusion, everybody else got mad. Like, the standard of living is relatively high. Actually, now that we have a customs union, let's change the name here. There we go. Okay, we will get our Egypt Protectorate. Nice. Since we're clearly never getting public schools, maybe we can try something else. I would like to restrict child labor. I just can't. Instead, we will go for free trade. Oh, okay, this one's actually Greece's fault, again. Thank you, Greece. Actually, it kind of makes me wonder if I should just annex Greece. Like, they just drag my states into the war with them, and I kind of hate that. Oh, and we're having the socialist movement? That's cool. That's really neat. Yeah, they're not a big fan of free trade. Now we have free trade. We're going to try and sell a bunch of stuff, I presume. Let's see, we definitely export more than we import. I really hate that we export so much coal, though. Maybe if we corporatize the unions, then we'll get less of the socialist uprising, maybe? It does appear to be the case a little bit. Less movement pop attraction, and also the unions are more likely to get corporatists. Still in this war against Russia, by the way. I don't know if it's actually ever going to end, but I can't capitulate, because, like, I kind of own stuff that they want, so yeah. I don't think we need Market Unification 3, so we'll just go ahead and pick up maybe food standardization to reduce mortality. Oh, right, yes, we need to decrease the autonomy of the Ottomans. There we go. We do also get an additional company. I hear the paper company is a good idea because it's a huge boost to our university output, although it is kind of late into the game. If I remember right, automobiles are really good though. Maybe we'll make this company. We're gonna try and speedrun no migration controls to see if we can get more people to move here. Because even though the population growth rate is pretty solid, we would like more people. I think I might have actually changed my mind. We're gonna withdraw from this. Okay, let's pick up level 2 food standardization for reduced mortality. Okay, we can now upgrade our inventory. Kind of waiting on that before we declare our next war. We should get a pandemic response. This is gonna hurt a little bit, but should hopefully fix it. I guess I could also now decide to do a little invasion here. Except I can't. Oh yeah, there's just a little bug where my fleet becomes entirely useless and I can't use it anymore. So for the rest of the game, we just can't actually use it, tragically. So never mind. Oh boy, a Venetian diplomatic play against me. Gee, thank you. That's really, really cool. I actually don't even want to cut Venice down to size. I would rather turn them into a protectorate. But seeing as I'm not allowed to do that, conquering Venetia will be close enough. Oh, right. Venice is actually a subject to Britain. Yeah, that's a thing. Would be crazy for them to get a free Italy subject out of that. So actually, if you wouldn't mind transferring Venice, that's cool. We'll call in Ukraine as well, I suppose. Okay, random front with Hungary. Finland is trying to invade Yugoslavia. I actually don't know how you're able to do that. Hold on, can I do that? Oh, I can do that. Oh, you learn something new every day. Oh, we can actually call Hungary into our faction. And since they've joined, they're now part of the market, which means Bohemia does not need to have its own markets. We didn't remove migration controls, but we can... this would be a really good idea, actually. Should pick up at least proportional taxation. We'll bring this up to level 3 to get the improved canning practices. Oh, also, yeah, it took a while, but we did end up reaching St. Petersburg. I think this war has actually been going on for like 15 years. I didn't even realize you could just invade across a border that's not yours. That is a new button to me. Okay, humiliate Russia. Yep, that's cool. Works for me. We need you to go anywhere else right now. Yay, no proportional taxation. I wish I could pass a law in this country. It's been a while, actually. Maybe we can get rid of child labor. Who knows? Probably not. Hey, Belgium is now out of the war. In theory, we might even be able to take Venice, which has since expanded, which means I actually get free Venice. Oh, what have you just done? Wait, what? How are you even able to do this? How are you allowed to do this? Okay, listen. I was willing to be nice to Greece for a while. I think that's over. I think that's done, actually. I was gonna be chill with them, but now your privileges have been revoked. Ooh, here we go. Compulsory education. Let's see, what else can we get? I would love to get public schools. That's not gonna happen. It sucks to leave the war like this, but... we have another problem to deal with. Okay, let's send everybody over to here. I would love to know where they get all this confidence from, because it's literally just Greece. So, I'm gonna go ahead and conquer... I don't have that many maneuvers. I guess we'll start by taking their capital. That's cool. I'm also definitely nationalizing all the buildings that Greece has in my country because they actually built a lot, but that's mine now. Man, I even vied for Greece. I fought for them. I helped put down their rebellions, even after their rebellions are actually what sparked my rebellions. I did so much just to try and be friendly. The cost of this betrayal will be steep. We're going to decrease Romania's autonomy, and then we'll also decrease Egypt's autonomy. We'll incorporate this area. We'll come back in a few years just to finish them off. The Ottomans do get a lot of territory back, but they also don't really like me that much. Not sure how to feel about that. Okay, it did take a while, but we got our cohesion back up, so now we can enforce our state religion on Egypt. We can also impose state religion on Hungary. It is interesting just how quickly places will convert. Also, Bohemia, did you just become atheist? No, they were atheist, I guess, before I changed them to Orthodox. Okay, interesting. But different areas actually do convert quite quickly. It's been like, I don't know, maybe 10 years? Already a quarter of Bohemia is Orthodox. The Ottomans are almost like half Orthodox in some places. Actually, more than half in some places. We can invite another country, Ecuador this time. It's taken a great effort, but we have surpassed Britain in GDP. Next up, hopefully we can surpass the US and Germany to become number 1, but the power block is already pretty sizable, since another one of our members, Ukraine, has 139 million GDP. I have no idea how they did all that, but they do actually have the 9th largest population. Oh, we can also invite Catalonia into the faction, although they're not having such a good time. Maybe I should help them. But anyway, now that we have 10 members in the power block, we can pick up our 4th principle, which will be the company's one. Really? Are we doing this again? You can transfer Venice to me, and also, I want these islands. Of course, we're gonna call in Germany as well as my ally. Ooh, plus 30 army offense for 2 years. That's convenient. You can call in Ukraine as well. Germany and I combined should be enough to win this war, probably. Yeah, that's a crazy amount of offense. We haven't even gotten tanks yet. If I could use my navy, I would definitely go over to Britain and also see if I could just dismantle them for fun. But I didn't really build one because, you know, the navy doesn't really work. I could build a second one, I guess. Well, you know what they say, 7th time's the charm. We finally have proportional taxation in 1923. Britain's taking a while to capitulate, so I might just annex Greece, actually. We do have our final company. At this point, it's not going to change very much, but we'll get this one. Might be too little too late, but now that we have no migration controls, we should be able to increase the population faster. It's one of the reasons we fell behind in GDP, simply because we've employed everybody in the country. And there are maybe a handful of labor-saving production methods, but ultimately we need more people. And in fact, with this power block, I'm gonna swap out food standardization for freedom of movement. It might be a little cursed, but there is one way to reclaim my spot as the highest GDP, or at least something close to it. We'll just annex Egypt. Now, if I wanted to keep going in this run, I guess what I would do is probably increase the size of my military and then just forcibly annex all of my subjects for massive infamy. Now, of course, that would create a problem because there's a good chance Ukraine would probably leave the power block, and that would kind of suck. But I think that's where we're going to leave it off for today. We had a very solid run as Yugoslavia. Definitely not one of my finest Victoria 3 runs, but just a solid game. And a solid first look at the National Awakening DLC. In the end, we did complete 2 goals, one of them being just to check out if we could increase the birth rate significantly. And I would say up until annexing Egypt, that did work out pretty well. You can see this little bit at the end here where we actually remove migration controls, but other than that, we increased the population pretty rapidly. We were able to, for the most part, keep up with, well, we actually surpassed France a long time ago, but we nearly kept up with Germany and Britain, up until Britain for some reason really exploded in population. And the second objective was to see how much we could convert, and it's a pretty sizable amount. Good chunks of Anatolia are converted to Orthodox, little pieces here and there of Egypt, not too much really because we were kind of late to that, but a good part of Hungary did convert as well. Just ignore the sizable atheist population. Czechia is also almost half Orthodox. So overall, I got to try something new, and that's the fun of it, eh? Now, for a while we were number 1 in the world, although our prestige got sniped a little bit. Britain came in just at the end and now has more prestige, although it is actually 11 more prestige. So I wouldn't exactly call that a blowout. I believe our power projection for the army is the highest right now. Never mind, Germany is in the middle of a war and they have called on their conscripts, so I guess we won't really know. Power block is number 1 in the world with a total GDP of over 1 billion. Pretty happy about that. And for once, I have a game where my power block does not have the worst borders I've ever seen. But I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you liked today's video, leaving a like would be super appreciated. And if it's your first time here or you simply haven't subscribed yet, now would be the best time to do so. But for now, this is Corbett signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. As always, a big thank you to the patrons for this month. All these people get early access to videos, so I'd like to give a special thank you to those who decide to donate more. So thank you, Erica, Baby Cal, Born to Dunk, Gallo4, Lukebecker, Mikhail Sample, Nick Steffel, Princess Rhea, Q-Brute, Spyro, Tillman Augustin, AG Forero, Ben Mottram, Quiet Guy, Rosset, Torvald, Ambient Cyan, Elysia Tutz, James Levy, Luke78776, Stalin DLRP, and Robert.